don't give money to a man as a woman.
100%.
No,
I agree.
If I could give you nothing from this entire podcast, it's that line alone.
Don't ever give money to a man.
Why can we...
All right, let's pause for a bit before we enter into it further. Never give money to a man as a woman. Never. Now, it's important to understand the why behind this video. A group of people sit down in a podcast, right? And they discuss extensively for what I believe will be a long period of time. And during the course of their conversations, they say, we know we've been talking for a long time, but if there's anything we want you to take away from this entire episode, if there is only one thing that you take this one. Never give money to a man as a woman. So I would think that this is really important to them. If that is like the moral of the story. If that is like the moral of the story, the moral of the episode, which would then lead us to ask the natural question, why? Because everybody who holds a view, there's a reason they hold that view. Why do you say so?
Explore why you shouldn't give money to a man, and could you also, the way that your foot is, Erica, I'll let you have this one.
No,
this leg
you know what?
was emotional. Is it not a rule of life?
You know what? I've given money to one man in my life, and I was like maybe 23, right? And it was a measly £50, but fighting for that £50 back was insane. He was making me feel crazy for my £50 that he had the cheek to ask me about, And it's like, they make you seem crazy.
They do.
So I'm just like, I would rather not give a man that's not my brother any money.
Okay. Now, you see, if there's anything that I want you to be able to do when you are consuming content, and it's important to note that the way that content is structured right now, the way that content is, or our understanding of it, it's not just what you're consuming online. It is people's opinions everywhere, offline, online. Because if you're only careful about what you take in online and not about everything that people are talking, you will be consuming somebody's opinion offline as wisdom, but you don't know that the opinion was structured and shaped by something that they consumed. Are you getting what I'm... Okay, cool. So if there's anything I want you to be able to do when you are consuming content, when you're consuming people's views and perspectives, is that when people make certain distinctions, like this, when people say stuff like a woman is this, a man is that, make sure you're not buying properties in the name of your wife, make sure that your woman doesn't know how much you are earning, all of that. I need you, when you are listening to something like that, to be able to filter and identify, discern. Are these traits that they are talking about, these things that they are zoning to one gender, are they gender-specific traits and problems, or is it a human problem? Because in this world where we are now, there seems to be fight between this party and that party. And whenever there is open confrontation, it's easy to see things in people that are also in you. But this is a fight. No introspection is necessary here. Let's look at the ones that are in them. Listen, let me tell you. Every time you see somebody point a finger at the other gender, I don't want to say another gender because there are not plenty. Every time you see somebody point a finger at the other gender and then say things like, these people are this, these people do. If you take that thing that they are pointing at and check it in the other, sanctified gender, it is always there also. Most of the things that we zone to the other people group, they are human-based problems. So never give money to a man. Why? Because it's going to be hard to correct it back. They will make you seem crazy for even asking for your money back. Now, let me ask you something. This thing that we just described now, does it sound like a woman? Does it sound like what a woman can do? Never take things that are human problems and zone it to people groups. That's the first sign that somebody is uneducated and illiterate. They are not mature enough to know when something is human. And let me tell you this, it is in, when people start to talk around you, when people get comfortable around you and they start to talk like this, don't be carried away with emotions and feelings. Actually listen to them, because it is in all these yappings, all these careless statements that people make, is in that left-handed or offer-handed talk. That's where you will find out what this person's mind is concerning certain things. Pray with this thing at your own detriment. Let me tell you, well-structured statements do not reveal the content of somebody's heart as much as careless talk. You see, that one that can be easily excused as a strip of tongue, that one that can be easily justified as, I didn't mean it like that now. Please do not misunderstand me. But if you're hanging out with somebody and then they see something that somebody else did, and then they just randomly, men disgust me. My brother, don't discuss. There is nothing like I didn't mean it right. Come on now, it's most men, it's not you. person, it's just strip of mouth. It cannot strip out of your mouth if it wasn't in your heart in the first place. Be careful when people try to treat you as special, despite the fact that they are verifying in their minds that they see, everybody from your people group or from your family as devils. No, you are the only special one. Be very careful with them. So when somebody says never give a man money, I mean, it sounds like it's joke, it's right-hearted talk just for the pod. But it gives you an insight, if you are understanding, of the level of their understanding and their processing of information about how life works. You don't want to journey with somebody like this or with somebody who reasons and takes counsel from people like this. Let me tell you, there's a reason I don't do gender things or gender talk. I was doing an interview recently with a national publication, and then the interviewer asked me, why is this as if I'm sitting on the fence? I don't side this one or that one. And to be honest, a part of me got quite, upset at that particular line of questioning. The reason is why? Why take sides and vilify this one or the other one when I know that most of the things that we are facing, most of the things that we are dealing with, they are human problems and not gender-specific problems. They only manifest or appear to be magnified in one or the other at different times, depending on their exposure and their level of knowledge about, how to handle certain situations. No, because if we study this particular argument that they have, let's ask ourselves, who is more likely to mismanage money? Who is more likely to feel entitled to money? Who is more, I don't know whether you're understanding me. And don't even reason that they are going to return anything. Return for what? You that beheld my beauty. Is that not compensation enough? What do you mean in return money? And when you consider things like that, then there may be grounds for some men, for some people to say, never give money to a woman. Is that then representative of the truth? And of course, if you look around, people are saying it. Never give money to a woman. Never give money to a woman who is not your sister, who is not your mother, who is not your responsibility. Such heuristic statements, never. Such absoluteness. But if you check, they were born and carved out of very specific situations that don't apply to everybody. And then, of course, there are other people on the other side arguing, and you hear this a lot from the older generation of women. Anything that you do for your husband, any small thing you begin to contribute in the family, you will do that thing for a long time. Men are like that. They will just relax. So don't even start. But let me tell you, it's not a man thing. It's a human thing. People, not men, not women, people get used. They quickly get used to things that they are exposed to, especially if the exposure is prolonged. But then how people act in the midst of exposure is always a function of how they were brought up, their views on life, their perspectives and their value system. So let me drop my own takeaway, my own moral of this story. See, if you have not gotten anything else from this video, get this one. Do not take advice from people who have either refused or do not have sufficient education that guides them when they are choosing the people to surround themselves with. And the reason is simple. If you don't know how to choose right, you will never have you will never have the right people around you. And those people that you now have around you, those wrong people, they will never act the right way. They will never behave right in certain circumstances. And their actions will now inform your view of their entire set, of their people group, of where they come from. Yoruba people, don't interact with them. It be like say Yoruba person never do you something before. They have not interacted with the entire set. Yet, we are making the assumption based on the group of people that we have interacted with, group of people that we chose based on our own value system, our own lusts, our own lack of education and illiteracy. They frog us for back. Now we are advising every other person, don't do this when you're with this person. Every time somebody gives counsel, you must understand that that counsel is shaped by their experience most of the times. And if there are people who you do not trust their value system, which will influence their company, that kind of counsel is not something that you can consume and then apply in choosing people to associate with or how to act around certain people. If you didn't hear me, let me tell you this thing again. There's a reason we don't take advice from everybody. Not because there are people who are inherently more foolish. No, but it's because we know that your choices will determine your company and your company will more or less dictate your worldview. And if I don't think like you, that means my choices will be different and my company will be different. And so naturally, your counsel will then be very irrelevant to the path that I am journeying along. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Don't mention, no, we don't do like that here. But one thing that you can do is to like this video, drop a comment so that I can know, at least I can feel the pulse of the community and know where we're headed next. And if you're not yet subscribed and you saw this, this video by mistake, if you do not subscribe, you may never see me on your timeline again. So go ahead, join the same side, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications if that's something that you're into as well. And I'll see you very shortly in the next video. God bless you.